Alright guys, so today we'll be learning a lot of amazing things, and we'll start by learning how to vectorize an image, a raster image in Photoshop. So let's jump right in. So I'll start by creating a new file. I'll use the 1080 by 1080 pixels, and then after that you can just say create. So once we're done with that, let's import our image. So I have a bunch of images. I just have to select one. Okay. Which one are we going to use? Okay, let me use this so you can scale it up. And now what we can do with this is to convert it to, or what we're going to do with this is to so I'll import the image, and what we're going to do is to convert this from a raster image to a vector art, or a vector image, or whatever you want to call it. So we'll start by removing the background. So can go to select, then select subject. And then once your subject has been selected, you can check the edges for some imperfections, and so that you can just correct it. So you can use any of your selection tools. I'll use the lasso tool, and I'm going to add this part. So I'll still check. So once I'm done with the selection, you can just use the mask tool to hide the background. And then with this, let's scale it down a little bit so that we can see everything. Now, looking at this, how can we convert this from a raster image to a vector image? So here's what we can do. We'll start by adding some stylization, that is some oil paint filter. So we'll go to filter, go to stylize, and then we'll add oil paint. So you can see this. So this is going to give it some form of artistic feel, or some cartoon feel. So we're going to add that. So once we've done that, we can just click OK. So if you look closely, this was before and this is after. So the next thing we are going to do is to add add some poster edges. So you still go to filter, then filter gallery, and then you look for the poster edges filter. So we're going to find it in So you can just come here and then scroll down and go to poster edges, and you find this. So it's going to give you this kind of outline, and then you can increase the edge thickness. So this is dependent on how you want your image to turn out. So we'll leave the edge intensity at 1, edge thickness at 1, and then we are going to use a posterization of 1. I think I'll go with 1 because it's giving us 3 levels of colors. It gives us black, gray, this and this, and so I'll just click OK. So you can see that this was before and this is after. So here's what we can do. Now you see, the beauty of this thing is that once you've done this, some persons like to apply this on some merch items like t-shirts, baseball hats and the rest. So you can basically put this there as mock-ups, or actually even print them. So we're going to do something similar. So let's continue. So I'm going to duplicate this, Ctrl J to duplicate, or you can just right click and go to duplicate layer. So I'm going to hide the original layer and we're going to work with this. So what I'm going to do is to turn it to a black and white layer. So we're going to go to image, adjustments, and black and white. So you can see. So once you're done with that, let's add a posterization adjustment layer, or a posterize adjustment layer. So you can go to your properties panel and you can see the levels. So this is 2. At 2 it gives you 2 colors, black and white. So at 3 it's going to give you 3 colors, black, gray and white. So it goes on and on. If you say 4, it's going to give you black and black, 2 shades of gray and white. So if you increase it, that's how it's going to work. So let's try 3. No, I think 4 is perfect. I think 4 is perfect. 4. So this is the difference. So now this is going to help us make our selection. So you can select this, both layers, you hold shift and you select the other layer and you group them with Ctrl G. So what we're going to do now is now this is the point where we convert to a vector layer. So we're going to make the selections based on these levels of gray, black and white. So let's create a new layer, and then you go to select and then go to color range. So with the eyedropper tool, we're just going to pick the colors we want to select. So I'll start with black. So ensure that your fuzziness is 0 and ensure that none of these boxes are ticked. So once we click OK, it's going to make the selections around the areas that are black. So what we can do next is to select any of our selection tools. I prefer the marquee tool, and then you can right click and say make work path. So now the tolerance has to do with the curvature of edges and points. So if you have a tolerance of 5, you're going to have more curved edges than when you have a tolerance of 1. So we can work with a tolerance of 1.0, or let's make that 2, and I'll say okay. So once we are done with that, you can see that it creates this outlines around the black areas, more like a drawing. So this is actually the vector points or anchor points. You can call them anchor points. So I would go to my pen tool, and then I would convert that to a shape. So I'm going to convert that to a shape. So I don't think my shape has any fill, so I can go to the rectangle tool or the shape tool and then give my shape a fill color. So since we selected black earlier, it's going to appear as one of the first colors. So I'm going to pick that, and then I can turn off my original layer, and I have this. So if you're okay with this, you can go ahead. So but I think let's add this second shade of gray. So we are still going to create another layer, and then the same process, select, then color range, and then this time we are going to pick this dark gray. Should we take that or this? No, let's take the dark gray, and we'll repeat the same process. You go to any of the selection tools, then you right click and say make work path. We can work with a tolerance of 2.0, and you say okay, and you can come to the shape tool and give it a fill. So if your own already has a fill, you don't need to worry about this. So we've not converted to a shape yet, so let's go to our pen tool. So I'll go to the pen tool and select make shape. So once we've done that, we can come to the rectangle tool and then select the color we selected earlier. That's this. So we can turn off our original layer and we have this. So let's do that for we don't need to bother about the white, but if you want to select the white based on the color of clothes you're going to put it in, you can actually select that. But I think let's just select all the colors, and then based on where we want to use it, we can turn off the ones we don't want. So we'll do the same thing for this light shade of gray. And so we'll create another layer and then select, then color range, we pick this color, okay, and then you go to any of your selection tools and say make work path with a tolerance of 2.0. It's not compulsory to use 2.0. It depends on what you are working on and the kind of results you want to achieve. So I'll go to the pen tool and then I'll convert that to a shape. So once I'm done with that, I would come to the shape tool and give that a fill. So you always see the most recent colors you selected as first. So I'll just pick that and I'm done with that. So if I turn the original layer off, I have this. So I can choose to use this or this. So depending on what you want. If you still want to select the white areas, you can do that if you want to. So but what we are going to do is to group all these layers. So you hold the first one, you hold shift to go to the last, and you say Ctrl G. So we can turn off our image layer. So you can see that these are vectors. Let me select this. You can select the path selection tool. So once you click this, you can see these edges and all of that, and they are 100% editable. You can select points and move them around. You can select this point. No, right click. So direct path selection tool. So you can select this point and you can move it around. You can see that it's 100% editable. So let's go back to the move tool. So since we've grouped this, we've basically converted this layer, this image, to a vector image. So now let's try putting this on some merch, or some merch like t-shirts or baseball hats. So let's try it. So I have some mockups here, and I'm going to leave a link in the description where you can download the exact mockups I used. So I'll go to my resources and mockups and merch. Which one should I go with? Let me use a hoodie. Should I use a hoodie? Should I use this? So I'll just go with the hoodie, and I'm going to open this mockup. So now I downloaded this mockup on Freepik, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can download exactly this mockup. And then I would open this design smart object, and then I can just come here and copy, Ctrl C, then come here and paste, Ctrl V. Now you can see why I said earlier that we did not make selections for the white areas. So it's really going to depend on the color of outfit you're using this vector for. So I'm just going to use a white solid color layer, so that it's going to make the entire hoodie white. So I'll just save it, Ctrl S, and then once I come here, you can see it. Wow, this looks really amazing. So you can see how you can just beautify all your attires like this, and you can sell this as whatever. Wow, this looks so lovely. In fact, I just love it already. Wow. So this is how you can, let's try for another mockup. Let's try for another mockup. So let's try for what are we going to use it on now? So I have this mockup that has images of 3 young ladies. So let's see what it's actually going to look like here. I'm going to open this t-shirt 1. Let's open it and paste. So I downloaded this mockup from Freepik as well, so you can just turn on the safety zone. So this tells you where to insert whatever element you're inserting. So anything that goes outside here, it's not really going to be visible on the shirt, or it's not really going to look so well. So I'll just paste what I copied with Ctrl V, and then I can turn off the safety zone in this other image, and let's save it, Ctrl S. You can see, so I think that needs some more adjustments. Let's turn on the safety zone, and then let's adjust this. So I want it to be somewhere here. We can scale it down. I want it to be somewhere here. Let's turn this off so you can save it again, and just take a look at this. So let's copy that with Ctrl C. We can close this. Let's open the smart object for t-shirt 2, And let's see the safety zone. Let's paste it here, and then we can bring it down, and then let's turn off whatever we don't need. So we save that as well, and then we can close it. So you see how it just makes things look very beautiful. Then finally, let's do that for t-shirt 3. So let's turn off whatever we don't need. So let's save that. And then you can just see what it's looking like. So you can try it out on whatever item you want to use it on. Maybe it's a book cover or whatever. So this just gives you that effect. So but I really love it on this hoodie, like, oh, I'm going to export this. So I'm going to export it as a PNG. So I'm going to use it as a thumbnail design. I'm going to use it for a thumbnail design. I'm going to save it. And by the way, you can change the colors of this. You see the lace color. You can change the lace color. You can change whatever you want to change. It's a fully editable mockup and it's absolutely free. So we're going to close this. I don't think I'm going to save that. So that's just basically it for converting images to raster images to vectors. So this is how you get it done.